feeling lazy. Yeah, I just don't really feel like doing anything. I have lots of things to do. I've got projects laid out. I've got fabric to cut. I've got quilts to quilt. I have shopping to be done. I have cleaning to be done. I have things to print on my 3D printer. I have things to read. Yeah, I have lots of things to do, but I just feel really lazy. But I know I've got to get to these. I cannot procrastinate and put them off. They have to be done. I have a list. I have to check it. I have due dates, self imposed, but I have due dates. So I have to keep going. But I just feel really lazy. And when I feel like that, I lose my mojo. I have no creative spirit left in my body. And that's not a good thing. Because if that becomes a habit, if you start to feel lazy and start putting things off to the next day, then the next day arrives and you put it off to the next day. And before you know it, you're in a vicious cycle where you get absolutely nothing done. So, how do I get myself motivated? How do I get my mojo back? How do I get myself inspired to do the things that I need to do and want to do? Well, I'm a list maker and I write down everything that I need to do each day. Now, this is not an absolute list. This list is one that I think in advance that these are the things that I can get done. And most of the time, because I know myself well enough, I can get these things done. And I like a list idea because I can go in and check off the things as I get them done. And that gives me a sense of accomplishment. And so I can look at the list when I'm getting a little lazy during the day. And let's face it, we all have those moments during our day when we just want to lay down and have a nap. At least I do. But I know I have these things to do. But if I look at that list and I see my check marks, I know, hey, I have accomplished some things. Let's keep it going. Let's keep that momentum up and let's get things done. And I find that's a great motivator. But then let's talk about your creative motivation. That's kind of my to-do list, things I want to get done during the day. But what about motivation for new projects? Where does that come from? Well, I have a lot of sources where I get ideas or become inspired. Of course, the go-to for everyone is the internet. Just do a random search for a few minutes. Put in a topic, say paper piecing, and see what comes up. And then click on a few of those links. And some of them might be trying to sell you things, but even on the ones that are trying to sell you something, you could get inspiration. Look at the pictures. Look at the descriptions of these different projects and think about it. You don't have to buy that particular product. And that's a rabbit hole. When you start searching on the internet, you see products you didn't know existed before and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'd really like that. And so you immediately go to Amazon and look it up and try to get it. At least that's what I do, because ordering it from Amazon is probably the fastest way. And I'm used to getting packages from Amazon on a daily basis. So, that's a no-brainer for me. But don't buy, look at the item, capture a picture of it or print out an explanation of it, and then look at your stash. Look at the things you already have. And I'll bet you with a little bit of tinkering, you can actually make what you have in your stash work for that particular project or idea. Or what sometimes happens is I see one thing and that leads me to start thinking about something else, and it gives me another idea or inspires me. Another way that I get my mojo back is I look through my old projects. I usually put my projects in boxes and label them and put them on a shelf and then promptly forget about them. Well, it's good to go back and revisit those sometimes because you've already done part of the work, haven't you? You've organized at least part of the project already. And that's what sometimes kills your mojo is prep. But if you look at what you've already done, then it may not be as overwhelming task as you may have originally thought about. And also, some of those projects which you may not be so interested in now, might inspire you to do something slightly different. It inspires you. It's a variation on a theme sort of thing. So that might increase your mojo as well. Go through your library of old magazines, old books, things like that. Look for ideas. Um, I know that I used to buy a lot of magazines. I don't buy so many anymore, but I look through some of my old magazines. And you want to know something? At the time that I bought the magazine, I actually took a sticky note or a piece of paper and marked a page or two in that magazine for a future project or idea. So sometimes going back and revisiting things that you thought were a great idea maybe a year or two ago may be a really great idea now, or may inspire you to take that and do a variation on it. So go back, revisit your old books and magazines. What's old may become new again. What other inspiration? Well, of course, YouTube. YouTube has lots of inspiration, but just like the internet, why not do a random search? I do this sometimes. I will go on to a YouTube channel. That's one I maybe check out on a regular basis. But you can go to the bottom of that first page of the channel usually, and there will be a list of related YouTube creators' sites that you can go to from there. And you can go down a fun little rabbit hole here just by clicking on some of those links and then going to their links and then going to those links that come up there. Just bebopping all around the YouTube world. And it's surprising what you may discover. That's often how I discover really great new YouTube channels that I didn't know existed before. Sometimes I'll go into the search engine on YouTube and I'll just put in a term. Paper piecing, applique, fun quilts. I like to come up with creative little topic titles and see what springs up. And you'll be surprised what you'll actually get. And again, this starts your mind working. It starts getting the creative juices flowing. It inspires you. So your mojo comes back. So when I'm sitting around and I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting my day now. I've got my list. I have these things I want to do. I just want to lay on a couch and veg in front of a movie. No, probably halfway through the movie, fall asleep or something like that. I don't do it. There is plenty of time to rest when they put me away in an old folks' home. You know what I mean? I'm not ready for that kind of thing yet. And I always feel good about my day after I've actually just given myself that little push to get things going. And I can look back on my day and go, that was not a wasted day. I did not waste my life on that day. I got something accomplished. I learned something new. I was inspired by something. And that's a really great feeling. So if you're feeling right now, and for us here in Canada, it is pretty much the middle of winter. It's dark, it's gray outside, it's cold, it's not really pleasant and not really conducive to inspiration. This is how I get my mojo back, by just exploring things that are already within arm's reach of my environment. I hope that gives you some ideas as well.